What is going on, guys? It is Kyle here from SpeedBets, bringing you guys another UFC video. Today we're going to be taking on the Whittaker versus Reiner card, and I'm very excited to get into this one. This card is stacked. It was a lot better. We had Aaron Pico making his UFC debut, but unfortunately we lost that fight. Coming off of last weekend here, we had on the official bets, we went down half a unit. Absolutely devastating. The Kevin Holland fight or the Zellhuber fight would have put us in a good spot. Kevin Holland, we got him early in the week on the money line at like minus 350. Hey guys, sorry, just coming at you with the editing here. I'm just realizing my mic sounds like super echoey. I'm sorry, this room is like pretty much empty. Getting ready to move. I know I moved like just a couple months ago. This is just a temporary house, staying in for a couple months. I'm going to be moving to an apartment with a much smaller room. I can put up a bunch of noise cancellation stuff. So I'm sorry this video is a little bit echoey. Next week's video is probably going to be a little bit echoey because I'm moving later in the week. But for hopefully, not next week's card, but the card after that, the microphone situation should be a whole lot better. The quality of the video is going to be a whole lot better. I have a new camera coming in. I know the camera's not necessarily a problem right now. It's still like, I think it's 1080, but the video quality is going to be getting a whole lot better. My research is still top of the game. I do think my research is worth listening to, so if you can handle the slight little echo sound in the room, I am very sorry about that. I didn't know it was that bad. I would have put up some like blankets on the wall or something if I would have known, but yeah, man, just enjoy the video, please. Love you guys. An insane line. He closed like minus 800. I should have just hedged out on D-Rod, but genuinely, I did not think there was a way Kevin Holland could lose that fight. Who would think that Jack Della Maddalena and MVP would combine for 0 knockdowns on Kevin Holland when Daniel Rodriguez gets 2? The first man to ever knock down Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. Absolutely insane, this guy. I was talking in the breakdown, he's a pillow puncher. He is. I think the takeaway from that fight is genuinely Kevin Holland could not hit a moving target. Every time D-Rod was moving side to side, up and down, Kevin Holland was swinging at air. And then in the third round, when he finally started connecting, when D-Rod slowed down, this guy's hurting him with the uppercuts. He almost has him out cold. He just starts throwing flying knees for no reason. When the fight gets to the ground, Kevin Holland, instead of throwing like 2 or 3 elbows to get the fight to end, he's chasing a rear naked choke that's not there, gives D-Rod the time to recover, and then he comes back to life. I mean, holy shit, dude. I don't know. I broke my own rule. I don't bet on Kevin Holland fights. That fight, the only reason I bet on it is because genuinely I did not think there was a world where Kevin Holland could lose. And that was the biggest bet we've had in a while. That was a 3-unit bet. It was Kevin Holland on the over 1.5 or over 2.5 for the Vettori Allen fight. It was like a minus 130 parlay early in the week. Would have been a nice little, with the 3-unit loss, that would have been like a nice 6-unit swing for us. And then the other loss, we had like a same game parlay for Daniel Zellhuber to win in round 2 to start. That came to minus 200. Parlay with the over 2.5 for Costa and Kopylov. An even money parlay for 2 units. Would have been a 4-unit swing. So if Zellhuber and Holland did their jobs, I think that's what, a 10-unit night? Ah, man. Well, what can you do? The other bets we had absolutely crushed. We had Paulo Costa win by decision, plus 450. That one came through. We had Jimmy Crute by submission, pretty big bet there, plus 200, easy. We had Ryan Spann to win in round 1, plus 175, very easy. We had Paulo Costa to land the most significant strikes, plus 160, relatively easy there. And then we had a same game parlay for the Costa Kopylov fight, for both fighters to land 0 takedowns and the fight to go to decision. That was a plus 375, I believe. Pretty good same game parlay there. And then we had Bruno Ferreira to win in the first round at plus 110. That one came through for us. And then right before the Daniel Zellhuber fight, I was looking at the sports books trying to see if I could get any other value in. I look at the line, I see Daniel Zellhuber sitting at a minus 1,000 favorite. Minus 1,000. When I broke the fight down, I told you guys Zellhuber has no finishing equity. If he wins the fight, it's going to win by a decision. And what do I always say, guys? If I'm picking a fighter to win by decision, and it's not going to be that decisive, like I said, he's probably going to lose a round to MJ. When the fighter's going to lose, or when I'm picking a fighter to win a fight by 1 round, I'm not going to pay that kind of price for him. So I put a little half-unit hedge out on MJ at plus 600, and that one came through, so that was a nice little... That a half unit won me 3 units, which I didn't send that one out because no one's going to tail a live bet not even 5 minutes, but like 2 minutes before the fight started. No one's going to tail that. I'm not going to use that as a cop-out to get over the loss. But that was a pretty nice one. If you guys want me to send out the live bets, join the Discord. I'll let you know. I can ping you guys if I'm putting in live bets. It's not a big deal to me. But the The props is really where we shine this week. I'm just going to bring it over on screen right now just to show you guys. I mean, these are just the dubs right here. We had so many slips cash here. I mean, just an insane amount. The DFS cookout was very, very real. We were on fire. I think I don't count these units in terms of like my actual overall profit. I just count the straight bets because these are way too difficult to track. I'm doing so many different apps, so many different promos, all that stuff. I'm sending you guys out errors every single week when I find lines that are like wrong. Like for example, this Daniel Zellhuber less than 116.5 fantasy score. This line right here should have been 87.5. They put it at 116 for some reason. So I gave you guys the under on this, and you guys probably see across these. I put that with literally every single prop that I loved. Came through for us. I gave you guys on chalkboard Islam Dulatov under 1.5 takedowns. Islam Dulatov under half a takedown was a minus 400 prop. Under 1.5 was around minus 800 value. We got it for like a minus 200 price tag here. Free. Cash that with a bunch of discounts. Carly Judas under 1.5 takedowns. Gave us nearly a 3x slip when Carly Judas was like minus 200 to go under half a takedown. Tons of value I'm sending out. Kopylov fantasy score. You're going to see Kopylov on a lot of these slips. I just took his under on fantasy score because I knew he wasn't going to finish Paulo Costa. I didn't even think he was going to win the fight, but regardless, the line was way too high. And I mean, it comes through for us. Whole bunch of stuff. Kyler Phillips under on takedowns. We got that early in the week on Underdog at 2.5. Didn't even need the half hook, but got some better slips. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. A little long shot parlay on the top here. I didn't officially send this one out, but if you guys just bet based on the picks video, I picked all these to happen, and obviously they came through. So, yeah, let's get right into this breakdown, man. First fight on here, we have Martin Buday taking on Marcus Buchecha. Marcus Buchecha, obviously, everyone knows this guy's the grappler. Literally the grappler. This guy, before Gordon Ryan came around, this guy was the big thing. Then he obviously grappled Gordon Ryan, and he kind of went to pursue MMA after that. Martin Buday over here is a fat sack of shit who sucks. Straight up. I think Martin Buday is one of the worst heavyweights on the roster. His best win is probably like Jake Collier. Like, you look at his wins right here. I think he lost to Lucas Brzeski. I think he lost to Andrei Arlovsky at the age of 42, which is crazy. Watch that one back. Arlovsky outstruck him, outdamaged him. Buday's best work is done when he's just holding you in the clinch, and his like fat rolls on his stomach is just absorbing the space between you guys, and he's able to pin you there. Against Buchecha, you're not going to be able to control him in the clinch. This guy, Marcus Buchecha, this guy went against Omar Kane. Rug. You guys want to see a picture of Rug compared to a picture of Martin Buday? Buchecha was taking down Rug multiple times. This guy has creative takedowns. He rounds the corner when he gets there. He doesn't need the cage because he's fighting in a ring in ONE FC. He's fighting Rug in the ring, so he can't even hold him against the cage. And Rug, he's got that Senegalese rustling background. I mean, literally just look at this guy. Hold on 1 second here. You're telling me Martin Buday is going to be the guy to stop the takedowns if Rug couldn't? And that's all without the clinch, too. Now, obviously, Buchecha lost that fight. He was just not the more physical man. Rug just made the choice to stand up a couple times when Buchecha was in guard. Or not in guard, sorry, in mount. Buday is he has listed 100% takedown defense. I think he's stuffed 3 takedowns across his whole UFC run. Nobody's trying to take this guy down. And then we saw him, he got the Kimura over Josh Parisian. Okay, cool. What's Josh Parisian's UFC record again? Was it 2-5? Nice, yeah. Okay, so this guy's best 3 wins are Chris Barnett, Jake Collier, and Josh Parisian. Sati Baldiev was a debuting light heavyweight on short notice that came up to heavyweight, way undersized, and he had Buday hurt. I think Buchecha, his striking is pretty rough. It's pretty rigid. I don't think he needs the striking. I think he's going to take down Martin Buday with relative ease here. And now I'm going to be 100% honest. If I'm Marcus Buchecha, if I'm trying to make a splash in this division, because he's 35, he's not a spring chicken, but for heavyweight, that's not that bad. You know, if he's trying to make a splash, he comes out here, takes down Martin Buday, enters the legs, heel hooks him in the first round, he gets on the mic, and he starts screaming for Walter Walker. 2 Brazilians going down. I don't think they have a Brazilian card yet this year. Maybe they did earlier, but if we want a card in Brazil, give me Buchecha versus Walter Walker, both coming off heel hook wins potentially. I think that's a good. You see Marcus Buchecha, he's obviously a super high-level jiu-jitsu. Martin Buday's never seen anything like this before on the ground. I think the heel hook is incredibly live, And I think that he should, dude. I think he should do that and call out Walter Walker, get his name in the mix. Walter Walker said he doesn't even want to be ranked. He wants to fight another rising contender. He called out Mario Pinto. I think he'd accept a Marcus Buchecha fight, especially if he's coming off a heel hook win. Walter Walker's got that foot fetish. I think it's live, dude. I think it's very live. So yeah, give me Marcus Buchecha, round 1 submission. I think Martin Buday is kind of out of his depth here. Muhammad Yahya making his 145 debut, and Stephen Wynn coming back after a pretty long layoff. This guy lost to Jarno Aarons over a year and a half ago. Before that, he took another 8-month layoff for beating AJ Cunningham on the Contender Series. AJ Cunningham, he didn't put up an ounce of resistance in that fight. He just got the shit kicked out of him. That was a bad fight. And AJ Cunningham, we've seen this guy. He is not held up on the UFC level. Got out-wrestled, held by Su Young Yu. Ludovic Klein just brutalized him. And Stephen Wynn pretty much did the same thing on Contender Series. It's just not been a good run for him, so I don't rate that win too highly. And we got Stephen Wynn sitting at minus 350. Minus 350, really? I don't know about that, man. Muhammad Yahya isn't good, but in his last fight, he just wasn't necessarily better than Cowboy Fernandez. That's not a shame. Cowboy Fernandez is really good. Cowboy Fernandez just beat Guram Kutateladze. I picked that, by the way, as a plus 300 dog. I picked that. I bet that. I gave him out as an underdog. But I don't think that's the worst look in the world. Getting out-rustled by Trevor Peek, that's a little tough. I think that kind of showed Yaya's level. And I think Stephen Wynn should be able to win this fight. This guy's like a generalist. He doesn't really do anything particularly well. I don't think his striking's that great. I think it's just okay. I think he can win this fight, probably by decision. This fight's going to be more competitive than a lot of people are willing to admit. Unless Yaya's chin is just cooked at 145. But I don't think it should be. I mean, he's been knocked out twice. Once by Cowboy Fernandez, once way back, I believe. Yeah, way back when he was like 1-0 or something. I think Muhammad Yahya can put up a little bit of more resistance than a lot of people are giving him credit for. But I will pick Stephen Wynn by decision. I think he is the better fighter. He's slightly more proven. He doesn't have man, it's so hard. Because the competition Yahya was fighting in UAE Warriors is so bad. But the UAE Warriors promotion is better than pretty much anywhere Wynn has fought. He's got 1 fight in LFA, 3 fights on Contender Series. This guy didn't impress Dana White at all. Yeah, knocked out by Alan Cruz. This guy's winning. The guys that Alan Cruz is fighting now, this guy's named Charles Cheeks III. What are we doing? I don't think he even fights anymore. He retired. I don't know, man. Give me Stephen Wynn by decision. Not confident at all. I have this guy in 1 parlay because I kind of put that in as just a Muhammad Yahya fade before I really did the tape. And I'm wishing I didn't put that bet in because I don't think this guy's worth minus 300. But he is going to be the pick. Next fight up, we have Ibo Aslan taking on Billy Elikana. Billy Elikana, last time we saw him coming in short notice against Bogdangrad. Came up in weight to fight Bogdangrad. He put up a good performance. He got the back in the first round. He took him down, got the back. And then in the second round, he just death gassed. He was not ready for that spot, I don't think. And then he was telling the ref to stop the fight, which was just a horrible look. But I mean, he was just completely done. Bogdangrad hits like a truck. And you can't blame the guy, man. Death gassed on short notice after having a lot of success in the first round. It is what it is. Ibo Aslan hits very hard, similar to Bogdangrad. However, this guy has way less skill. I think Ibo Aslan is not good at all. I mean, this guy, his 2-0 UFC run is over Rafael Capoeira, who I think genuinely is the worst fighter on the UFC roster, pound for pound right now. He's getting fed to Julius Walker, which I don't think Julius Walker is good either, but he's probably going to beat Capoeira. We saw Modestas Bukakis put this dude in a blender in 2 minutes. And then he got a win over Anton Turkalj, who was 0-4 in the UFC, and who also submitted Ibo Aslan back in the day. By back in the day, I only mean a couple of years ago. So we know this guy has the grappling hole. Ian Kutelaba brutalized this guy last time. Just took him out, submitted him instantly. And a lot of people are giving him shit for that. It's not the fact that it happened. It's the ease in which it happened. It's you can get submitted. That's fine. It doesn't mean you have a grappling hole in your game. It's just the ease in which Ian Kutelaba found a way to get the choke. And then the Turkish tapper gave up in the first round. I mean, I want to pick Billy Alicana. I really do. I mean, the reason that we in the Bogdan grad fight, I was doing my tape on Billy. I'm like, this dude's got a wicked chin. He's not very good, but this guy's got a sick chin. And, we hit the over 1.5. It was like plus 250. We smoked the over 1.5. Barely. It went over by like a minute, but we still hit that. So for this fight, when I saw it, I was like, Ibo Aslan, another guy with some nuclear power. We're going to hit the over 1.5 because I think Billy's got a sick chin. He's going up in weight now, too. He's going to be more filled out for the weight class. He struggled to make 185, apparently. I think 205 is going to be a good home for him. I think his chin is crazy. And yeah, I got the over 1.5 at like plus 150. I got it at plus 110. That was a 1.5 a unit to bet. So yeah, give me the over 1.5. I don't know if I'm going to bet a side in this one. For the pick, give me Billy Alicana. I really don't think Ibo Aslan's good. His 2 wins are over 2 of the worst fighters on the UFC roster. He has the grappling hold. We haven't seen Billy go out there and dominate people with the grappling. This guy wants to strike. That's just who he is. But for the value, I think his team is seeing that. His coach is seeing that. He's seeing that. He knows that Ibo can be taken down. I think it might be a situation where Ibo stuffs the first takedown, then he thinks he's hot shit. He starts wheeling some of those overhands. Billy ducks under, gets 1 takedown. I'm not confident enough to say that if Billy takes the back in the first round like he did to Bogdan, that Ibo's going to be able to fight out of that spot. I think it might be over from there. But I'm probably not going to bet Billy Alicana money line. There is a chance he just gasses again, and then Ibo Aslan just TKOs him in the third. We've seen this guy carries power late. I don't think he has the greatest gas tank either. But I think, yeah. Give me Billy Alicana by submission. Like plus 1,000 call right there, but I think it's possible, man. This fight right here, Amanda Ribas taking on Tabitha Ricci. I just don't even know what to say. This is garbage versus trash. 2 very, very bad fighters coming in here. Amanda Ribas, she has somewhat crisp striking, if you want to call it that. I wouldn't even go crisp. I'd say she has okay striking. She has some spinning attacks. She kind of struggles to find her range from time to time, even though she is going to have a pretty big reach advantage here. But against girls like Rose, who also have a good reach, she really struggled. She kind of got her ass handed to her in that fight. Tabitha Ricci, we know she stayed in Callum Walsh. She's going to be working on that boxing. She kind of fell in love with her hands a little bit. Didn't work out so well against Yan Xiaonan. Kind of got beat the hell up there. Then against Angela Hill, she did just enough, but did she really? I don't know. Tisha Pennington barely did enough again. Tabitha Ricci's always fighting close to the margin. But she always does enough to make it not a split decision. These 2 girls, I see a lot of people are playing fight goes to split decision at plus 200. I think that's a pretty bad bet. I don't think there's any value in that. I think this fight probably doesn't go to split decision because Amanda Ribas doesn't go to split decision often. She has 1 in the career. Tabitha Ricci only has 2 in the career. When we're making a split decision call, you got to look like Max Griffin, who 1 out of every 3 fights in his career goes to split decision. That's when we hit a fight goes to split decision bet. Amanda Ribas, Tabitha Ricci, just because it's a close fight doesn't mean it's going to go split. I think Tabitha Ricci is either going to be able to control Ribas in the grappling here, and I think Ribas doesn't really do too well when she's getting pressure with the grappling. She also struggles with the movement. Tabitha Ricci, if she's been working on her footwork at all with Callum Walsh, she could make Ribas start missing. When Ribas starts swinging at air, that's over. She's going to beat the hell out of Casper the Ghost, but that's about it. I think Tabitha Ricci has the upside in the grappling. I know Amanda Ribas is a high-level grappler. Just submitted by Mackenzie Dern. Then she tried to do that 125 stint. Didn't work. She just got dominated. She was way too small. Comes back down. Tabitha Ricci's even smaller than Amanda Ribas, so you could make the argument that Amanda Ribas can be better in the clinch, but I don't think Ribas is that great of an MMA grappler. I think this fight's just way too hard to pick. Give me Tabitha Ricci here by decision. I think she's going to be able to control the grappling a little bit more than Amanda Ribas. But if you're betting on this fight aside, unless Ribas touches minus 200, then I'm going to come in on the Tabitha Ricci side probably just based on the value of it. But a sneaky bet is fight does not go to split decision. It's minus 400, which you will never see a line like that for an MMA fight ever. I think that's just so poorly lined. We have Davey Grant taking on Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear is one of the fighters that I absolutely despise. This guy pisses me off beyond all belief. He is an elite grappler. A phenomenal grappler. The work this guy puts in on the mats is absolutely insane. He's got creative submissions. He's finding angles for Darius Chosh. He's even got a twister. It's over Jose Johnson, but still. And Davey Grant, he just remains dangerous even at the age of 40. This guy comes in ready to bang. He's got slick boxing. He wants to be in close. He's going to keep you there. He just beat up Ramon Tavares. I thought he beat Daniel Marcos. He beat Assunção. I thought the Yanez fight was really close too. There's a case right now for Davy Grant to be on like a 5-fight win streak. There's a real case for Davy Grant to be 8-1 in his last 9 fights right now. I don't think that's crazy to say. Which is some serious momentum despite being like halted by Daniel Marcos in the split decision. But I mean, Damon Blackshear, if he grapples, this fight should not be close. Davy Grant is not the greatest grappler. His takedown defense isn't that stellar. His submission defense isn't the greatest. He's been submitted 4 times. If you're paying minus 300 for Damon Blackshear, you need to know that he's going to grapple. In his last fight against Alatang Haley, we told you guys that Damon Blackshear fell in love with his hands. He doesn't want to grapple anymore. And look at that. He just stood on the feet and looked underwhelming against Alatang Haley. He looked horrible. He won the fight very clearly. Haley just wasn't on his level. Davy Grant is way better on the feet. If Damon Blackshear doesn't want to shoot takedowns, he's going to lose this fight. And if you're paying minus 300 for Damon Blackshear, you're going to be really, really upset with yourself holding that ticket if he just decides to not shoot takedowns. I mean, he has 0 takedowns in his last 4 fights. He's getting beat the hell up by Cody Gibson on the feet. And then for no reason at all, Cody Gibson shoots a takedown, instantly gets reversed when he hits the mat. Damon Blackshear sweeps him, gets on top, starts beating him up at the end of the round. Cody Gibson comes out the second round, starts beating him up even more. And then guess what? He shoots another takedown, gets reversed again, and then put in a Kimura from like the dorsal position. It's ridiculous. Damon Blackshear's so good on the ground, but he just chooses not to use it. And then the Cody Stamann fight, I think he hurt Cody Stamann early. That was actually a pretty good fight for him. And then Cody Stamann shot in, and then he got submitted. I don't know, man. If Damon Blackshear wants to play around, he's going to find out like he did against Montel Jackson. I don't think Davy Grant's going to knock him out, but I think Davy Grant's like more than live to win a decision here. But if Damon Blackshear takes him down, I think the submission is very easy. So I'm going to hope for improvements in Damon Blackshear's game planning. I hope his coaches are telling him, like, dude, you are way better than this guy on the mats. I'm going to go Damon Blackshear by submission. I think he can find the back of Davy Grant. I think he can choke him out with a rear naked choke. But, yeah, I wouldn't pay minus 300 for Damon Blackshear. I don't think he's worth that at all. I'd maybe look for the submission/decision. Maybe Damon Blackshear by submission, Davy Grant by decision. That prop when it drops later in the week could be a decent look. Damon Blackshear, it's not out of the question for him to win a decision here. But if he doesn't use his wrestling, he's not going to look minus 350, which he's sitting at right now. Minus 300, 350, whatever. And again, like I was telling you guys, last week, I picked Roman Kopylov to win, but I was explaining to you guys why Costa could win the fight if he tried. And I told you guys, if you're betting Roman Kopylov at minus 270, you're going to be punching the air when this fight is incredibly close. I mean, I didn't call the Kevin Holland one. I thought there was no way Kevin Holland could lose. Daniel Zellhuber, he goes from a war with Ribovics to just sparring Michael Johnson, throwing only head kicks. Those are 2 guys where I didn't think they could physically lose their fights. So I wasn't really telling you guys value in that spot. But I mean, I'd say I'm pretty good at picking out what fighters are not going to look their lines and telling you guys not to bet them. I told you guys not to bet Omar Sy at minus 700. He wasn't going to look like that. I told you guys not to bet Chris Curtis at minus 300. He wasn't going to look like that. He gets a greasy split decision like we called. And it's just a whole bunch of stuff like that. I mean, if you're betting these fighters at that kind of chalk, you're going to be punching yourself when it goes to a very close decision. If Damon Blackshear doesn't grapple, he might just lose this fight as a big favorite. You know, Muslim Salikov taking on Carlos the Roidhead Leal. This guy came in short notice against Renat Fakhretdinov in this same exact arena, and he was brutally robbed. Muslim Salikov, this guy's been around since like 1800. This dude, he's not 42. This dude is like 402. I swear to this guy's old as shit. He's got like 2 noses on his face. This guy just looks like a fossil. I swear to you, this guy is not how old he says he is. Like, I don't know. I think this guy's lying about his age, but he's kind of like Jose Aldo, where he just like defines age. Like he defies age. He doesn't show it. When this guy throws his wheel kick, he's still so fast. When he throws his spinning back fist, he's still so fast. It's like you actually don't understand how it's possible. And in the last fight, we actually predicted Muslim Salikov to win via spinning head kick. That was the actual call out. A lot of people picked him by decision. I called the spinning knockout. Now, it's when a guy throws the spinning kick like 5 times a fight, you know, if he's going to get a knockout, it might be that way. So I'm not going to pretend like it's that crazy of a call out, like he's never thrown a spinning kick before. But it was still pretty cool to cash that one. Carlos Leal, this guy just throws caution to the wind. He literally walks to the center of the octagon, doesn't defend strikes, and just throws bombs. He's like Hyder Emil. Like, he's literally the 170 Hyder Emil. Now, I don't think Muslim Salikov at his age of 82 is going to hit hard enough to put Carlos Leal out. Muslim Salikov, he does look to wrestle when he's in trouble. I don't think he's going to be able to take down Carlos Leal. I don't think that this fight's going to be remotely competitive. I think Muslim Salikov crumbles when you pressure him. He struggles when punches are thrown in combinations. Carlos Leal only knows combinations. This guy's body hooks are super good. He digs down low, gets you that liver, gets you to drop your hands a little bit. Then he comes up top with 2 more hooks. He's literally Hyder Emil at 170 pounds. I think he's just going to crowd Muslim Salikov. I think he's going to make him uncomfortable. And I think he's going to get the first round knockout. Now, Muslim Salikov, he does have this weird thing he can do. He's got, it's like the Miles Johns effect. Whereas for whatever reason, when guys just look at Muslim Salikov in the cage, they just like don't fight. They just forget how to fight a little bit. The same thing I was saying about Miles Johns way back. When he was fighting Douglas Silva de Andrade. I was like, guys, this fight right here looks like it could be very violent. But when you get in the cage with Miles Johns, you just kind of don't fight sometimes. Muslim Salikov, same thing. I mean, all these guys recently, he's just been standing there and like, I don't know, it's like there's a force field in front of him. Like, you can't cross it for whatever reason. He just makes you go 1 for 1, and then he's got the better, like, more rangy kicks. He's got the faster kicks. He's got the better spinning kicks. He just throws all this unorthodox, crazy shit. And he just, for some reason, nobody crowds him. But the few guys that find a way through that force field, the few guys that actually just, like, they blink a few times, they wake up, they're like, what the hell? They crowd this guy, they put him out. Leach got in close, started throwing combinations, hit him with a big elbow in close. Salikov was done. We saw Nicholas Dalby. He crowded him, pushed him to the cage, beat him up, got in close. Dalby beat him. We saw Randy Brown. When he actually got in close and he finally threw a combination, instead of just jabbing and throwing across, he actually hit him with a 1-1-2, put him out cold. I mean, I think Carlos Leal is going to do just that. I think it's crowd this guy, get him close, get him on the cage, same way he beat Morono. And I think Carlos Leal round 1 knockout. And Bryce Mitchell taking on Said Nurmagomedov. Now this fight right here, I'm gonna simplify this fight as easy as I can. Either Bryce Mitchell is going to take down Said Nurmagomedov over and over and over and ragdoll him on the ground and it's just control time, or Said Nurmagomedov's gonna catch him in a guillotine. I mean, the Said Nurmagomedov doesn't defend takedowns. This guy accepts every single takedown for the sole purpose of throwing his front chokes. He has super, super long, lanky arms, and he loves to just wrap up the ninja choke. He wraps up the guillotine. And I think this fight's a trap for the bettors. A lot of people are seeing Bryce Mitchell. He just got submitted via ninja choke. You look at Said Nurmagomedov's tapology. You see ninja choke. You see guillotine. You're like, oh, shit. Bryce Mitchell's been fighting out of guillotines for a very long time. John Silva surprised him with that, and fair enough. John Silva did very, very good performance. That was a great performance by John Silva. It's very weird to me that Bryce Mitchell's going down. Because I understand he doesn't want to deal with the power. He doesn't want to deal with the physicality of some of those guys. I mean, he's already fought the hardest guys. He fought John Silva, Josh Emmett, Ilia Topuria, and Dan Ige. With the exception of Kron Gracie in there, like that was all 4 almost in a row of the most physically imposing, hardest hitting 145ers on this planet. I mean, maybe like fucking the guy from Octagon, Kita. Maybe he's up there with like the most physically imposing, but it's these guys, he already fought them all. He's not getting rematches with these guys. He's not going to rematch Ilia Topuria. No point in rematching Dan Ige. No point in rematching fucking Josh Emmett. He doesn't have to worry about that. I don't know why he's going down here. Said Nurmagomedov isn't very dangerous on the feet, in my opinion. And he's shown that he can get taken down. The Saidukab Kakramanov fight, that really showed me that Said Nurmagomedov is more than okay losing a fight by decision just to chase the chokes, because he's losing every single minute of the fight. He's getting he had 3 submission attempts because he just locks in a guillotine every single time he gets taken down. If you beat the hips and you get across the body, threaten the Von Flue, he's going to let it go, and then he's on bottom getting controlled. I think Bryce Mitchell should be privy to that, and Bryce Mitchell should win this fight by decision via Russell spam. I don't think that Bryce Mitchell should get caught in a guillotine again. It's possible. I'm not going to pretend like I don't think that's a possibility. I bet on Said Nurmagomedov's inside the distance decision, no action, his finish only money line. I think it's live. I don't think Said's going to decision Bryce Mitchell here. I think that'd be impressive to me. But give me Bryce Mitchell by decision. We have Bogdan Guskov taking on Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov, this guy's like one of the most entertaining fighters on the planet. I mean, this guy, when you actually go back and watch his tape, it's like a braille. Like you're watching some of these fighters, like I have to watch Tabitha Ricci tape, and I want to blow my brains out a little bit. But then I start watching Nikita Krylov tape, and I'm like, oh yeah, this sport is actually pretty good. Because this guy, his scrambles, he's like all pressure, all gas, no breaks. When he's on the feet, he's just crowding you. His average fight time is like under a round. And he's been to decision a couple times too, which is crazy. If you're looking at this guy's like UFC stats, he's averaging like over 2 takedowns a fight, and that's like based on 15 minutes. So he's averaging over 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. This fight is probably not going 15 minutes, so we maybe don't expect 2 takedowns, maybe 1. But he's getting like reversed, and he's throwing reversals at a crazy rate. I've never seen a fighter with like that much of a reversal per fight average. I mean, it's like 0.2 or 0.3. But when you break it down with how many UFC fights this guy has, like, that's a lot. Like, this guy has almost 20 UFC fights. This will be his 20th UFC fight. And Bogdan Guskov's coming into his 4th or his 5th. I mean, wins over Ryan Spann, Zach Pauga, and Billy Elikana on short notice. Do we rate that highly? I mean, I don't really know. Volkan Ozdemir pretty much came in and just made this dude bend over for him. Really? Bogdan Guskov, I think he's got the hole in the grappling. I think Billy Elikana showed that as well. He got taken out in the first round. Ryan Spann had the back in the first round, threatening him with submissions. Nikita Krylov is about as dangerous as they get on the ground. Yeah, Nikita Krylov is also prone to getting submitted because this guy is like submission over position every single day of the week. But I think this is a pretty easy fight for Nikita Krylov. Coming from Dominic Reyes to Bogdan Guskov, I think it's a massive step down in competition. And I think Krylov gets him out of there with a submission, probably in the first or second round. Now, originally, I actually bet the over 1.5 for this fight, and I regret that bet. I got buyer's remorse. I did that on like my one sports book where I can't cash out my bets because I want to cash that bet out very, very badly. I think Krylov could easily submit him in the first round. I was looking at the last fight. I was kind of looking at Ryan Spann and Billy Elikana. And I was like, oh, they're controlling Bogdan, but then they make it to the second round before they gas out. Nikita Krylov isn't going to play around. He's going to either get the submission or he's going to get killed in the first round. I think the over 1.5 could hit, but I do regret that bet a lot. So if you're joining the Discord, taking a look at all the bets that I sent out, I wouldn't recommend tailing that one. But yeah, give me Nikita Krylov. Probably via round 1 or 2 submission. Hoping for second round. Hoping for late second round just so I can cash that bet. But I think realistically, it's probably Nikita Krylov first round submission. And we have Asu Almabayev taking on not Ramazan Tamarov. This is actually Jose Ochoa. So ignore the right side of the screen there. The UFC website hasn't updated yet. Jose Ochoa came in last time against Cody Durden, and he put on a beautiful performance. We picked him with confidence there. We bet on him. He got it done for us. He lost to Loner Kavanaugh. It showed a lot of heart. It wasn't the best look for him, I'm not going to lie. I don't think Loner Kavanaugh is the greatest prospect on earth. A lot of people think this guy's like a future champ or something. I disagree with that. I think he loses to a lot of the top guys. But Jose Ochoa came in, and he did okay. He won a round. He showed a very, very good chin. Asu Almabayev is not knocking anyone out. I think this guy's got like 2 or 3 knockouts in his career. And I mean, I think that it's literally just danger versus control here. Can Asu control Jose Ochoa on the ground? I mean, we know this guy's shoot-to-box style. I'm a big hater of that gym. I really do think that gym is just like not good for fighters. They're just killing each other every day in sparring. But the one thing about that is they create some wild, wild fighters. How often do we see shoot box guys getting controlled? They usually just get chinned because they're so scrambly from the bottom. I think Jose Ochoa can scramble up if he gets taken down. I think he's just going to be insane. If Asu Almabayev gets on top of this guy like in side control or something, Jose Ochoa is going to bust out the shoot to box special. He's going to look like a break dancer. He's going to be just spinning around, flailing, getting back up to his feet. He's liable to catch him with like an uppercut, a flying knee, some crazy shit. He could even jump Gilly if Asu is coming in. Asu in his last fight against Manel Kape, he got hoed, absolutely hoed in that one. Manel Kape poked this dude's eyes like probably 4 or 5 times. I mean, Manel Kape's about as dirty as they come. It is what it is. But I'm going to go Jose Ochoa. I think a lot of people are picking Asu. They're calling it a step down. I think if we just ignore the Manel Kape fight because he was just kind of a step behind getting his eyes poked in there, is Jose Ochoa really that far behind Mateus Nicolau, Jose Johnson, CJ Vergara, and O'Day Osborne? I I'd pick him to beat all of those fighters as well. I think he'd probably finish those fighters. This guy couldn't submit Jose Johnson, the guy who got twister by Damon Blackshear. Give me, yeah. You know what? I'm doing it. Give me Jose Ochoa. Give me him by third round knockout. He's going to carry his power late. Also, Almabayev, this guy's been knocked out by Tagir Ulanbekov before. Like, what are we doing, man? Tagir's not finishing anything. So, yeah. Give me Jose Ochoa, round 3 knockout. This fight right here is very, very straightforward. Shara Magomedov taking on Marc-Andre Barrial. Shara's going to put the volume on him. Marc-Andre, his chin has been gone. This guy was known for a while as someone who can take a lot of damage. He can take a beating. Not anymore. Punahele Soriano's putting you out. You're officially cooked. I think Shara is going to get back in the win column relatively easily here. Now, Shara isn't a fight finisher. Regardless of what he did to Petrosian, he's not a finisher. So I think it's probably like a second or third round knockout for him, just based on Marc-Andre being unable to take the damage. If Marc-Andre tries to get in close to the clinch here, I think that's his best bet. If I thought that Marc-Andre had any chance of wrestling, I might actually consider picking him because Shara's wrestling is so bad. But Marc-Andre has like 2 takedowns in his 14 or 15 UFC fights. So I can't count on him to grapple. If his takedown prop is like north of 500, I might take a shot on it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be just because people know that Shara is like super susceptible to that. But give me Shara Magomedov. I'm going to go another round 3 TKO. I just don't think Marc-Andre has it anymore. I think this guy's not going to be under the UFC banner for a whole lot longer. We have Petr Yan taking on Marcus McGee. Now, this fight right here, I originally had a parlay out with Petr Yan and Carlos Leal. Now, I cashed that parlay out. Petr Yan was like minus 400. I really thought about it. I was like, can I pay minus 400 for Petr Yan? I can't. I don't think you can justify a minus 400 price tag on Petr Yan because this guy starts slow, notorious for losing the first round. If you're betting the opponent's spread on Petr Yan fights, you're cashing your bets at a rather insane clip. This guy does not cover point spreads. Petr Yan fights very, very close. Now, Marcus McGee fades as the fight goes on, but his first round is relatively strong. I think he wins the first round here against Petr Yan at a very high clip, which in turn gives him the upside for the plus 3.5, which is that plus money. If I could count on Petr Yan to finish a fight, I would pick him and bet him. I'd bet the house on him. But he doesn't. Petr Yan is not a fight finisher. Say what you want about this guy. Petr Yan's a decisionator. He doesn't finish anything. He's incredibly durable. He's probably not going to get finished by Marcus McGee. And it's a 3-round fight, so the cardio for Marcus McGee isn't the biggest concern in the world. I think Petr Yan's going to win the fight. He can throw leg kicks at the end of his combinations. We saw Jonathan Martinez. He didn't start kicking the legs until really round 2. And then once round 3 came, he was laying on it even more. But for some reason in the last minute and a half of the fight, when Marcus McGee clearly could not stand on his lead leg, Jonathan Martinez wants to initiate the clinch. I think if Petr Yan can end his combinations with a leg kick, he can throw the 1-2 leg kick. He can beat up Marcus McGee's lead leg, take a lot of sting off the shots, take a lot of sting off the kicks, maybe take out the spin kick possibility. I think Petr Yan's going to win this fight by a 29-28 decision. But his line is crazy. I think parlaying Petr Yan, knowing that he's not going to get a finish, knowing that he's going to lose the first round, I think that's foolish. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Robert Whittaker taking on my guy, Reiner de Ridder. This fight right here, this is a hard fight to break down because I think Reiner de Ridder is either going to look probably minus 1,000 or plus 1,000. And I really don't see a world where this fight is like back and forth competitive. I think this fight is one-way traffic for whoever wins it. And I'm picking Reiner de Ridder. I think RDR he's got the juice, man. He's got the juice. I'm not talking about the Paulo Costa secret juice. I'm talking about Reiner de Ridder just been getting it done. This guy is a fight finisher of the highest degree. Submission specialist, he showed last time. He's got those Dutch knees. His clinch work is insane. He is so physically imposing in the cage. He does the same thing Dricus du Plessis does, where he just marches you down. He gets in your face. His shot selection is not good. He's not throwing technical combinations. He's just going to get in front of you and make you very, very uncomfortable until you make a mistake. He's just walking you down. His striking defense isn't good. He doesn't really move his head too well. He's probably going to catch a couple jabs from Whittaker, get popped back a few times. So what? Who's Whittaker knocking out? One knockout in the last 7 years was over Ikram Aleskarov, who's garbage. on a week's notice, flying across the country, not training for that. Ikram Aleskrov, correct me if I'm wrong, he was training for Antonio Tricoli. That's not Robert Whittaker. So if we ignore that one fight, he hasn't got a knockout since Ronaldo Souza in 2017. Robert Whittaker has one knockout in the last 8 years, and that's Ikram Aleskrov. And that was extenuating circumstances, flying across the country on a week's notice, preparing for Antonio Tricoli. This guy's not a fight finisher. Reiner de Ridder is all the danger. And it's going to be the same thing people were saying about the Hamzat. Like, oh, dude, what happens if Robert Whittaker gets this guy out of the first round, man? What happens if he gets him out of the second? Dude, I don't think he does. Same exact thing I said about the Hamzat fight. The whole narrative is, dude, what happens if Robert Whittaker gets this guy into the second and third rounds? What happens then? Dude, I guess we'll never know because Robert Whittaker's going to get finished in the first or second round. I think RDR's clinch work is insane. This guy's going to be... He's just so tall. He can put you in the tie plum and there's like nowhere you're going. He just grabs the back of your head, closes his long-ass arms under your chin, and he just starts ripping knees. And Robert Whittaker, he's going to be backing up. He doesn't have a choice. A lot of people are saying that RDR is like horrible on the back foot, which I agree. He's not the best. We haven't seen a wide array of that in his MMA career because he's so good at getting the fight to the ground. This guy's going to tie up in the clinch, use his judo against GM3. There's a picture I love putting up there. If I still have it on my computer, I'll put it on screen right now. Where he goes for like an outside trip on GM3, and his legs are so long that he covers the back of both of GM3's knees while he's still standing. Like he's able to trip both of GM3's legs from the tie-up and to get the takedown on the outside trip. You see guys like Henry Cejudo, he does the inside trip where you're like barely hooking the ankle. RDR just like consumes you in like the clinch. This guy's clinch work is nasty. His takedowns from the clinch are beautiful. He's not going to run out there like Hamzat and just shoot relentless takedowns like double legs and stuff. He needs to get close to you. He's going to throw you with the judo toss. He's going to trip you up. And same thing I said about the Bo Nickel fight. I was like, if Bo Nickel takes this guy down, he's fucked. Bo Nickel tried like jumping a guillotine or something in RDR, and then he got down, and then RDR instantly reversed him. Instantly, he's in mount. A horrible game planning by Bo Nickel there. But Robert Whittaker does not deal with the physical specimens that well. Dricus du Plessis, you want to look at the takedown that Dricus got on Robert Whittaker? He pushed him up, got him in the clinch, got in close, sloppy takedown with a trip. It was a phenomenal takedown, literally just pretty much all muscle, all physicality. DDP came out there and he just out-physicaled Robert Whittaker. He manhandled Robert Whittaker. And I think RDR can do something similar here. I'm trying not to compare RDR and Dricus so much because I know there's like the whole meme that they're both just goofy fighters. They really do fight similarly though. They rely on their physicality a lot, which works when you are just more physical than every single one of your fighters and you have some sort of skill to back it up. Dricus, to all of his faults, he is a very good kickboxer. Like this guy is a very credentialed kickboxer. And he has the grappling developing. RDR is one of the best grapplers, like pure grapplers, the sport has ever seen. And he's working on the striking. He's got the knees back in his arsenal for the last fight. In the post-fight interview, he said, I forgot I was Dutch. I got these knees built in. I think Whittaker's in for... I think Whittaker's going to get beat up pretty bad here, man. And I'm aware of this fight. Like I said, RDR is going to look minus 1,000 or plus 1,000. If Robert Whittaker just pushes him out of the clinch and he just stays at range, just throwing body kicks and jabbing up RDR, and RDR does nothing about it, it's going to look like a horrible bet. And I'm okay with that. But you want to look, Robert Whittaker thrives when it's like Paulo Costa, Marvin Vettori, guys that are going to go 1-for-1 with him, guys that are going to go jab for jab, body kick for body kick, and Whittaker can do a little bit more. He's going to throw more volume against guys with no head movement. RDR doesn't have the best head movement. I agree with that statement. But Robert Whittaker's not knocking anyone out. Give me RDR by round 2 submission. I think he's going to find the takedown in the first round. It's going to build the confidence. He's going to come in the second round. He's going to mess up Whittaker a little bit with the jab because Whittaker's going to be hesitant for the takedown. And then I think Whittaker's fight years are going to show. He's going to take a shot. He's going to look a little bit rough after he gets hit with it. He's going to wobble a little bit because Robert Whittaker has no chin. And I think RDR is just going to get on top of this guy. He's going to push him to the cage. Maybe hit him with a hip toss or an outside trip from the cage. I think he's going to take him down. Give me RDR by... what submission am I calling here? I think Whittaker's going to do a good job kind of trying to go turtle on him to try and not have him inside control. Give me RDR by Darce choke. That's the official call. Give me RDR by Darce choke in round 2. But the actual call is just submission. I think RDR is going to submit Robert Whittaker. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, let me know your locks. I'm going to be coming at you guys later in the week with the 5 locks video. Sorry, last week I just got super busy, real life stuff, didn't have enough time. Still dropped the 5 locks. Unfortunately, for the first time since February, our locks did not go 4 for 5 or 5 for 5. We went 3 for 5. Very disappointed in that. I'm sorry. I know it was a community post, so probably not a lot of people even saw it. Not a lot of people tailed it. But I am sorry. I do take that very serious. My 5 locks are like very close to my heart. So we'll be back 5 out of 5 this week. I'm feeling it. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Join the Discord. Top link in the description. If you want to see what I'm doing with my money, totally free. You don't have to pay for anything. Second link, or you can join the Discord and see them all in there. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.